Hi guys. So today I wanted to talk. I was doing dishes. I was just doing chores and cleaning up from a late lunch. And a lot of times it's not just in meditation or like through my exercise workout routines, or even when I'm like halfway asleep or whatever. The ideas for videos come when I'm least expecting it because of my thought patterns or whatever. And a lot of my thought patterns have evolved to where I think in terms of ideas for videos, and I'm always listening to like, inspirational leaders that inspirational teachers that help me, that uplift me. So I get a lot of inspiration from them. So I wanted to share an idea with you guys, and kind of break it down. Not an idea, a principle of spiritual awakening. And it's huge. It incorporates the whole spiritual awakening process. The steps that are involved, and the things that can help you to move along your spiritual evolving path. And I thought that would really help you. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. Maybe you're not interested in spiritual awakening at all listening to this video, and that's completely fine. We're all on our own journeys. We're all on our own paths. So complete compassion and complete love to all of you who watch my videos. You have my love no matter what. We're all on our own paths, and that's fine. But for the people who really need some answers, or need not answers. The word I'm looking for is they need support and clarification, and they need to feel supported through the confusion of the spiritual awakening path, because you go from lower dimensional egotistical thinking up, and you start rising up into the more spiritual realms. And it's a slow process for most of us. It's not a fast process. Some of us it's fast, but most of us it's slow. So if you we need that support, which is why I'm making this video, and why I really do genuinely care, because I've been through it. I've been through the process, very much still going through the process. I'm nowhere near the end, and I don't know if I'll ever be anywhere near the end. I think we're always evolving. We're always changing. But just to clarify that, because I'm not coming from a place of I have it all figured out. And anybody that knows me in real life, they know I don't have it all figured out. But I want to help people that are on that path, trajectory, the people that really are seeking for answers, or seeking for, guidance, just guidance, not answers, guidance. So anyway, the title that I'm probably going to put on this video is Tips to Ease Spiritual Maturity, or Tips to Ease Spiritual Awakening is another label that I could put on it. What I have found for myself is that there are certain things that really, really help me. The number one thing is just being by myself. The more that I really align with myself and what my heart really wants, and the more that I listen to my intuition and I listen to myself, the more that I feel like I'm aligning with who I really am, and it doesn't always align with everybody else. And that's okay, because like I said, everybody is on their own trajectory, path. They're all doing their own thing, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with the evolutionary path of anyone's path. that's where the unconditional love aspect comes into play. But what I'm saying is that the more that you really tap into your own power and your own being, the more that you realize it's okay to be with myself. And actually, it feels really good to be with yourself. And so that's been a really big connecting with who Rachael is. And by Rachael, I don't mean the personality Rachael. I mean like the soul that the soul that I am. That's connected to the divine. So that's number one. Being in nature, oh my goodness, it's like a drug for me. It is one of the main drugs that I use, and by drugs, that's such a negative term, but it is one of my major drugs that I use. To really find solitude within myself, to find peace, to connect with the divine, to connect with myself, to disconnect from the matrix, to disconnect from all that crap, that shit on the news, and like. And when I say shit, I'm not being disrespectful there, but what I am trying to say in a kind of more assertive way is that the social media and news have their places, but we shouldn't make them our number one priority. In other words, when we are going throughout our days, are you turning on the news left and right? Are you believing everything that they say? Are you believing everything that, are you believing? Even social media it can be toxic. I mean, there's so many ways that not plugging into yourself, but plugging into other things can really toxify your mind and your body. So being in nature for me has really been very grounding, and I have really made a sanctuary for myself in my own yard, like with my trees and the flowers and the, I have a trapeze that I use. I love my trapeze because you can swing, you can do all these acrobatic kind of moves, and it's not just a workout. For me, the ultimate point is not to get the workout. Of course, it builds your muscles and stuff, but ultimately it's like I just feel so free and so flowing, and I can meditate while I'm on it. And so being in nature, and there's a tree that's in our yard that overarches our house, kind of. Well, not kind of, it does. It overarches our house. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but anyway, I had, and side note, I had, I guess, what are they called? Acorns? I think they're called that. I had an acorn fly into my lap. I've never had this happen before, and I've been out in my yard for years, like doing my spiritual, whatever, doing or planning stuff or whatever. I've never had this happen before. I had an acorn drop into my lap, and it kind of hurt because it was like very firm on my leg, and it kind of almost made a bruise. Well, it did make a tiny little bruise, but instead of like feeling, I don't know how you would normally feel in that situation, like, brush it off or whatever and keep going about your business, I grabbed it, and I just knew that it was a love sign from Mother Earth, from God. I just held it in my hands, and I placed it on my heart like this, like the acorn was right there, and I just placed it, and I just swung on my trapeze for like 5 or 10 minutes and just thanked Mother Gaia for her loving message. Um, it's those kinds of things are so nourishing. And so if when you become more conscious in your moment by moment life, you realize the gifts that God is giving you, like minute by minute, the love that she is bestowing upon you, and the ultimate, the unconditional grace and the love, it's all connected, guys. So, okay. So I'm getting a little bit off track, but I felt like that message was just, it was being channeled through me. I mean, I go with the flow with this kind of stuff. Not being around toxicity. That's become a big one for me. I have a lot of people that have really good energy in my life, and I love them to death. I do. I love everybody, and I give love to everybody, but there are only certain people that I allow myself to be consistently around, or at least be every once in a while around, because first of all, it has to resonate. And then second of all, the energy field has to be similar. I don't know. I can't explain it in a proper, and I don't want this to sound like I'm judging anybody. Everybody's on their own path. Everybody likes their own people. We all know that. But what I'm trying to say is that I really have gotten to where I'm extremely picky. Not because I'm snooty, not because I am definitely not snooty. If anybody knows me, I am not snooty. I love people. Even though I may not always, I am a shyer person, so I may not always personify that in the right way. And I remember in middle school, I even got, which is funny because I got elected onto homecoming court in middle school, which is weird. But I got told also by someone in middle school that I was snooty and quiet. But it wasn't that at all. It's just that I was very, I've just always been so sensitive to energies, and so I read things, and so I don't always, I get talkative when I get to know you, but I'm quiet. So, back to my point is that not being, being really in your not your authority, but your sovereignty when it comes to who you choose to be around, who you choose to interact with, what you allow into your field, what you allow into your mind. It doesn't have to be just people, it can be other things, So you have to be really careful with that. It is very important when you're on the spiritual path upwards, love everybody, of course. Love everybody. Love, 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 love. That's what we're here to do. But you also have to, as a light worker or as a light being, you have to really guard your heart, like it says in the Bible. Guard your heart, guard your energy. In other words, guard your energy. And of course, we all know eating cleaner, all of the GMOs and the chemicals in our foods, and the hormones and the antibiotics, the chlorine in our water, the fluoride in our water, all of that contributes. So we have to always be, as much as we can when we're not eating out, which I don't eat out a lot, but always being like really vigilant about what we're putting into our bodies. I have my vices, but I would think I mean, I don't smoke. I don't, I don't definitely don't do drugs, that kind of stuff. It's all that it's just really cherishing your body, cherishing your mind. What's going into your mind? What's going into your body? Who are you around that's influencing your mind? Influencing your energy field, because we all have energy fields, and so it all just it's all part of the ball game here, especially when we come on a mission, which most of you that are watching are on a mission, and it can be anything from A to Z, but it's all light filled and it's all positive oriented. And so I just encourage you guys to really pay attention to everything in your life, and how it affects your being. It affects the people around you. Another thing I wrote down, of course, is fresh air and exercise. I think I already kind of pointed that out earlier, getting outside in nature. And another big thing I wrote down is research. Research your way through life, like, don't believe everything that you've been told in school. Not to say that school doesn't have a lot of real scientifical or factual scientifical or factual status, of course, but we have to do our own research. And when it comes down to spirituality, it's a whole different field than school. So when we do research, we have to think in terms of, and on a spiritual basis, I mean, is researching spiritual text, because I'm not really religious. I'm more just spiritual oriented. I just really go with what I resonate with. I love my Yeshua, which is Jesus, but it's not in a religious term. It's more in I do believe that he was a divine being, especially sent at the time that was needed for the beginning of the ascension process. And so I really, really deeply resonate with him, and his divine counterpart, Mary Magdalene. And so, but it's not just about, what I'm trying to say is that research is a very important process in the spiritual awakening. You have to do your research. You have to know what your convictions are, and to feel that with all of your heart. It's very important. I know that it has been a very important process for me. A lot of reading is done, especially in the winter months when everything's kind of more dormant, everybody's inside more. I do a lot of reading, and I can, what I'll do is I'll put some of the references of the big spiritual texts that I really love in the description box, because I always give a message in the description box. So I'll do that just to give you an idea of, well, at least for me on my own path, what I've been drawn to, what I've been led to. But your own research is a, for lack of better words, is a responsibility on the spiritual journey towards awakening to spiritual maturity, in other words. And if you want to experience if you want to experience a rich life, then that it's a necessary thing. So anyway, my point is, in this video, is I wanted to give you some tips to help you along your spiritual journey that I have personally found very helpful in my own path. I am not anywhere near maturity yet. I am definitely going through my own processes, and anyone who knows me knows that. But I wanted to share this with you guys because I just want to help, you know. I want to share the love, and that's what we're here to do, right? We're here to share the love. We're here to heal and grow together, and we're here to learn the unity consciousness that is who we truly are as we ascend. So I love you guys very much. If you want to reach out to me, I am available at rachaelkdonna1111@gmail.com, and you can always email me about anything. And I love you guys very much, very, very much. Hugs, blessings, love. Bye.